But I am very, very excited to be speaking here and sharing with all of you the importance of community involvement and the power that each of you have to make a difference in someone's life and in your community. As I go through my presentation, I am going to exhibit to you that each of you can find a cause that touches your heart, that each of you can convert your empathy into action, and that each of you can positively make an impact in someone's life. So for me growing up, the importance of civic engagement was drilled into me. And as part of our annual trips to visit my grandparents in India, we had a tradition to volunteer at the local Balkan orphanage. And that was our way of giving back to the community. But it was really when I was 9 that I actually understood the reality of these children's lives there. And I'll actually let this video explain the background of that story.
Neha Gupta is an 18-year-old American girl whose family comes from India. Her story starts when she is 9 years old on an annual visit to her grandparents and becomes friends with a girl from the local orphanage. Her friend, who seemed to have so much in common with her, had no chance of an education and lacked the love and support Neha had enjoyed from the moment she was born. It was then that she suddenly realized what it truly means to have absolutely nothing.
I realized that that was a reality for all the children at the orphanage, and I wanted to be able to help them with that. I wanted to aid them.
Neha knew her empathy would not be enough. She really needed to do something. Back home in the United States, Neha started her first garage sale fundraiser. A year later, she returned to India with $5,000 to fund a library, food, clothes, and blankets and shoes for the children of the orphanage. And so, her organization Empower Orphans was born.
Thank you. All right, hopefully the mic is on now, so hopefully you can hear me. But as you just saw in the video, by the time I was 9 years old, I was able to fully comprehend the reality of these children's lives. For this first time, I realized what it meant to have no one to give you unconditional love, no place to call home, a lack of food, water, limited opportunities to attend school or receive medical attention when needed. And the future that awaited these children terrified me just as much as it terrified them. It broke my heart to see how poverty had just taken away the essence of life, stripping my orphan friends of all hope. And in that moment, I knew I had to take action to help these children. I had to find my voice and raise it so that they could have one too. And thus, Empower Orphans was born, with the mission to provide a quality education and health care to vulnerable children around the world. But as I grew up and matured, I realized that, well, I could not achieve this dream on my own. So my goals for Empower Orphans evolved to not only helping vulnerable children break the cycle of poverty, but also to uniting and mobilizing other youth for a collective purpose. I'm very, very proud to say that to date, Empower Orphans has raised more than $1 million, 1.7 to date, and helped 25,000 children. We have conducted many projects to help the education and healthcare of children in India and the United States. On the education front, we have established libraries, computer labs, a science center, a sewing center. We sponsored the education fees of children. On the healthcare front, we have conducted numerous health and general wellness camps. We have sponsored surgeries for polio victims. We've provided home furnishings to provide quality living for others. We have set up motorized wells to provide clean water to make villages sustainable and actually have clean water to drink for the first time. But, in addition to all of our material accomplishments that we've been able to do, I really feel compelled to speak about our success in creating a ripple effect. And by ripple effect, I mean, imagine for a second throwing a pebble into a pond. The first ripple is very small, but then you watch in awe as the ripples become larger and larger. And just so is the impact of one person with an idea or a mission. When you impact one person's life, change will keep on cascading out to impact more and more people. Hundreds of individuals have joined me in supporting Empower Orphans over the years, and I would like to share with you two very different stories. So the first story is that of Meena, an 18-year-old young woman in India who took the tools that she was given through Empower Orphans and used them to transform her life and then create her own ripple effect. So many, many years ago, Meena lives in India and her father had just lost his job. And, obviously the family had no other source of income at the time. So naturally, Meena's position was very, very vulnerable. Realizing that she could be forced into a marriage that she did not want or find herself in an even worse position, she braved the wrath of her father and enrolled in a class at our sewing center. With the sewing machine she was given and with all the skills that she acquired, she started her own tailoring business and now exclusively supports her entire family. But then she came back to the Empower Orphans School, not as a beneficiary this time though, but actually as a volunteer, which was really, really incredible for me to see. And the second story is that of Rushil, a 9-year-old boy who had to do a school project about heroes. And honestly, I was just brought to tears when I learned that instead of selecting Superman or Batman for the subject of his assignment, he chose me. And beyond sharing the work of Empower Orphans, he took his efforts a step further to convince his classmates to raise money to buy 3 goats for a family in need in Africa. It's amazing to see how his actions not only impacted his classmates in a long-lasting way, but also a family on another continent. And just notice how one ordinary person, a 9-year-old boy, can make such a big impact in people's lives just by creating a ripple effect. These ripple effects have truly, truly touched my heart. And when you do something you love, the work itself is the reward. So I honestly, truly never expected to win the International Children's Peace Prize, the highest of accolades for child advocacy. This award is bestowed upon one person or one young adult or child each year whose exceptional actions have made a difference in improving children's. But as I mentioned earlier, I have pretty big shoes to fill now since the 2013 recipient of the award was Malala Yousafzai. But winning the 2014 Peace Prize and gaining all the subsequent media attention has provided me with an international platform to grow awareness for my organization, Empower Orphans. It's given me the unparalleled opportunity to campaign for the rights of all vulnerable children. And it's even given me the credentials to demand the right to be heard when it comes to driving child advocacy. In early February, I actually had the honor and privilege of representing the Peace Prize and going to the United Nations Economic and Social Council Forum on Youth, it's a very long name, and being part of discussions there about the post-2015 development agenda to basically make sure that youth and children get all of the rights that they deserve, because no one should ever be left behind or left out of the policy discussions. And the 10th anniversary was actually in 2014. So this year, or in November, all the past awardees got to spend time together in the Netherlands. And as a way of strengthening and pooling together our efforts, we co-founded and launched the Kids' Rights Youngsters, an initiative to urge decision makers to always put children and youth at the heart of their agendas, because as I mentioned, no one should ever be left behind.
I am Bawan. I support refugee children to voice their problems and know their rights.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Now, in conclusion, I want all of you to know that you do not have to be a Mahatma Gandhi, a Nelson Mandela, or a Martin Luther King Jr. to make an impact in this world. I started my efforts when I was 9 years old, and I did not let anything hold me back. And there shouldn't be anything stopping you either. Each one of us can and must create change. There's so many issues that plague our world. There's hunger, there's poverty, there's HIV, AIDS, gender inequality, environmental sustainability. I can keep going, but youth in this room, I want you to know that you have the power to make a difference. This is your time to stand up and let your voices be heard on these issues, or whatever your passion might be. This is your time to voice your opinions. I encourage each of you to find a cause that touches your heart, to convert your empathy into action and let those actions ripple out to inspire other people. Believe that you can make a difference and know that you can make a difference. Because not only will you impact someone else's life, but you will also enrich your own. And at the end, I leave you with this video that is from my fellow youth humanitarians who are all past International Children's Peace Prize awardees. They are my true inspirations because they have incredible stories to tell, stories of how they were able to rise from adverse conditions like being a street child, being a refugee, or being forced into child labor, and how they were able to turn those experiences into positive ones to actually impact other people in need. So without further ado, I'll play this the second time.
I support refugee children to voice their problems and know their rights.
I tell all of my friends all over the world that they must go to schools and they must educate themselves.
I am Kez. I teach street children about hygiene and I fight for their rights.
I am Francia. I promote the right to name and nationality.
I am Neha. I fight for the education and healthcare of disadvantaged children.
I'm Katie. I'm a ability activist and promote the inclusion of people with disabilities.
I'm Om Prakash. I may speak out against child labor and support to children go to school.
I am Tanzue. I fight for education and against HIV and AIDS. We all have the power to change the world. What is stopping you?
Divided we fail, united we can build. I believe in you.
Together we stand strong. Let's work together.
You have a heart for others. Be a change maker.
You have the ability to raise your voice. Together, our voices will be loud enough.
We are on this great journey advocating for children's rights. Can we educate the world together?
So let us stand up and let us move the world with our voice and with our pen.
Now we ask you,
What will you do?
You know the fun.
¿qué tú vas a hacer?
Anong iyong gagawin?
Basta chani.
आप क्या करेंगे?
What will you do?